Hello, my name's Ryan Clement. Today I had the pleasure of being in conversation with Dawn Jones of Hope Place Limited. Dawn is an HR specialist and shared her vast experience of HR with us. She gave valuable advice to both employers and employees. She is a speaker, a trainer, and a podcast host. She's also an author. Her latest book is Be HR Wise and Thrive. Thank you very much for agreeing to do this. Please introduce yourself.
Okay, so my name's Dawn H. Jones. I'm a HR professional and I help people to become HR wise. So doing HR a little bit differently, not just advising and consulting, but also pushing the education and empowerment. As I was actually trained, pushing education and empowerment of good people skills into every individual I can, essentially. So,
Right.
workplace.
Okay. Well, I did a bit of research on our relationship, and
Okay.
we go back over 7 years.
Wow.
Wow. And we're just doing this for the first time. What's
Yeah.
wrong?
I think in life, Ryan, we say generally, what I for one say, oh, let's do this, let's do that. But the bottom line is, one of my coaches says, if it's not scheduled, it's not going to happen.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
it's purely that we just didn't schedule it.
Yeah. You are
Yeah.
absolutely right. You're absolutely right. Right. Well, you introduce yourself. Tell us about yourself. What's your background?
So I've been in HR for over 20 years. So I had a number of jobs and then I came into HR properly, I'd say 1999, 2000.
Right.
And what really piqued I've always liked training and developing people,
Yeah.
always. But what really piqued my interest was I'd done a temp job working for one of the directors at the post office, and he had in his portfolio employee relations.
Right. Yes.
So I got a first-hand look at what employee relations were like in a public sector
Wow.
and
Right.
how he managed the trade union relationship.
Yeah.
And I think within a year after that, I signed up with Croydon College to start my CIPD.
Right. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. Yeah.
that
Yeah. So are you CIPD qualified?
part.
Part. Right. Okay. Okay. So 20 years ago, you're doing this, and so on. So what made you think I actually want to do this HR? Because in the old days, what I can't remember what it was called, wasn't it? Personnel, wasn't it? It was
Yeah,
personnel and then HR and then so on. So what made you feel like this is what I want to do?
yeah. It was a training element. I,
Right.
I'm a solution focused person.
Yeah.
So once I articulate what the problem is, once I understand what the problem is, I
Yeah.
don't stay in the problem.
Yeah. Yeah.
I move quite swiftly to what does the solution look like.
Good.
Uh,
Yeah.
But when I went to do my CIPD, they had two training routes. You could do training and development, it might be learning and development, they called it actually, or the employee relations.
Yeah.
So I was always going to do the learning and development pathway. But then
Right.
I said, if you do the learning and development pathway, you're kind of like niche. And
Right. I see.
well, the other part, which is the employee relations, I said, I can't do that. So I went the employee relations route,
Yes.
doing sickness, disciplinary grievances, and all the rest of it.
Right.
I think maybe 6 months after I started, I went back into the NHS.
Oh, I see.
I went into a HR team, and it was a really supportive HR team.
Right.
So I was just thrown in to
Yeah.
employee relations.
Right. Yeah.
Generalist role had some recruitment and selection, but I was just thrown into the employee relations role.
Wow. Well, there's an important question I think you can answer for us.
Yeah.
Is HR there to look after the employee's interests, or is HR there to look after the employee's interests, or is it a mixture of the two? I mean, how would you put it?
I'd 100% say it's a mixture of the two.
Right. Yes.
Certainly the way I was trained,
Yes.
I was absolutely trained that every employee needs HR, some level of HR knowledge. And
Yes.
it was definitely the ethos that I was trained in.
Yes.
Um, so what that looked like was, our managers trained us. So we had a lot of investment into
Right.
And their view was, we've trained you, we've invested in you. If you need anything, there's a whole menu of training, but
Yeah.
make sure those cases are tip top.
Right. Yeah.
Or not having problems come back to us because of something that we haven't done, haven't advised.
Yes.
And then once then they sent us out to the front line. And the
Right.
front line, so I worked in a community health trust. So the front line was going into different services. So we came out of the HR,
Yeah.
um, we had a HR office, and
Right.
I would go down to, I don't know, a couple of my services was universal children's services and
Yeah.
specialist children's services.
Right.
I'd go there and I'd spend time working from the service.
Right.
So
Right.
I could actually see how the service ran.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah. Yeah.
when we was given advice, we were giving good advice anyway, but we was actually giving advice in context.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Now I see what you mean.
Yes.
And
Yes. Yes.
that brought an added level of empathy and
Right.
respect from the managers.
Right. Right.
We weren't sat in an office, we were actually at the front line.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes.
And
Yes.
then you talk about is HR for employees and managers. Well, any employee could come and tap me on the shoulder, and they often did.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Maybe I got that query.
Yeah.
Some employees would actually go to their friends within the organisation, and a friend would be having problems, and they'll say, "Go to Dawn, she can help." And that was employees coming.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Over a time that we built up really robust, and we walked lockstep
Mm-hmm.
with our managers.
Right. 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 Yes. Yes.
So it's for everybody. It's there's no gatekeeping, or there
It's,
should.
yeah, it's interesting you say that, and maybe you might have a view on this because from my experience as a litigator,
Yeah.
um, when when an employee has a meeting, let's just say, for example, an employee has a scheduled meeting with their manager,
Mm,
HR steps in.
yeah.
The employee seems to get a bit nervous as they don't tend to always see HR as being their friend. They think, oh, I'm in trouble here. Why is HR in this meeting? And I've been in cases where people have been concerned that why did you call HR in? You know, I mean, did you have a view on that? Is there anything that you've actually heard or is this new or
Oh, no.
um,
We were trained that you we go to meetings when it's a formal meeting. We were very clear about why we were going to meetings and what our
right,
purpose was.
right,
And if a manager actually said to us, and there were times that they said, "We need you in this meeting." And why is that? But we just need you in there to support. We'd say no. So we'd push back and say, this
right.
formal meeting, okay?
Mhm. Yes.
And if the manager was particularly insistent, we'll say, okay, then they have a right to bring their trade union rep or a companion with them.
Right. I see. I
Yeah.
see. A good balance.
Yeah. And what our leaders were really good at telling us and really seasoning, pushing down on a regular basis, calling what it will, they used to say, your paperwork can end up in a tribunal. Any
Yes.
email, anything can end up in a tribunal.
Yeah.
So whatever you're writing, whatever you're recording, make sure you're doing it with a very clear understanding that anybody can request it.
Yes.
And so they told us that. So those were our guardrails. And
Yeah.
they didn't saying it to intimidate us. They were telling us, I believe anyway, always to maintain high standards. Because if you work with high standards, it becomes the norm.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. I mean,
So yeah.
yeah. So when we have the process of disclosure, and then in an employment, well, in any trial really, you have to disclose your documentation that will support and be against your case. And then sometimes when you're cross-examining someone, and you refer them to an email that they wrote a few years ago, and let's just say it's not flattering in
Mm.
the subject, and they say, well, I didn't know years later I'll be in employment tribunal. Well, that's really not the point. It's not the point. You wrote it anyway, and if you shouldn't have written it, then you shouldn't have written it, period. Not whether it's going to be in the public domain later on. So
Yeah.
no, I get it. I get it.
What we used to do in our team was we used to because you do get those, as fair and as kind as you're trying to be, you do get those. It could be a manager, it could be an employee that really pushes your buttons.
Yeah.
And we were really good at recognizing that. So I'd
Mm.
write an email and I'd pass it to my colleague.
Yeah. Right. Right. Right.
And we'd proof test our email. So
Right. Yeah.
my emotions might be heightened in one time, and I'd say, for example, to my colleague Eleanor, and
Right.
Eleanor was very calm and she was very measured, and she'd say, Dawn, you might not want to say that, and she might just take hearing a word out there. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yes, I do. I do.
Tone of the email, but equally, if she was in a high, her emotions were in my heightened, she'd say, Dawn, please look at this email. So that was our, and not just in that team, but many other teams, that was our safeguards, because
Right.
we're aware that, look, this person's working my last nerve. If I,
Yeah.
this is what it can come across. So could you look at it? Because you put class an objective eye over it. So
Right. Right.
in that.
Right, right, right. Now, I know you are a strong advocate, quite rightly, in my view, of knowing your policies
Yeah.
and so on. Recently, I did a short video about employees knowing the policies, but also employers. Now, I just want to hear your view on this because there seems to be a perception that employers will know their policies. Now, in what I do in my job, I cross-examine many employers and employees, but employees in particular, and many times it comes to light that
Mhm.
employees don't know their own policies. What's your view on that, especially when you get an employee who signs a contract and they certify that they have read and understood the handbook, the staff handbook that runs to about, I don't know how many pages, then refers to another document somewhere else. I mean, firstly, what's your view on employers knowing their policies? I mean, what's your experience in that?
A lot of employers don't know what their policies and processes say. I can't put it any plainer than that.
No, yeah,
They,
I understand.
you've got the piece where they don't know,
Yeah.
and then you've got the other piece where some know, but some think it's an optional extra to follow policies and processes that have been ratified by your executive, as this is the way that we will do this process.
Right,
And
right.
a mix between the two.
Yes, yes,
Uh,
yes.
but when I'm reviewing cases, so I've reviewed cases even as a contractor, and when people come to me, and
Yeah,
it's clear that basic stuff,
yeah.
bread and butter stuff, is not being done.
Mm, mm.
And that's both on the employer side and the employee side.
Yes, yes, yes.
Now, if someone's giving, and I'm gonna say something, but I'm gonna headline it with this:
Yeah.
it's every employee from the most junior to the most senior CEO's
Hmm.
responsibility to read policies and processes. That is without a doubt.
Hmm.
But if I were to walk into an organization now and they gave me a 200-page handbook,
Yeah.
I would say, and they said, could you sign for it? I would sign for it,
Yeah.
but I sign for it with a caveat is signed and received, but not yet read.
Wow, wow, wow.
But
Yeah.
you can't say I've read and understood.
No, that's a
And,
very good point.
and that's kind of like a lifestyle for me. If you're asking me to sign something, I'll sign it, but I'm going to put a caveat by it. You
Yeah,
either accept that signature with a caveat or
yeah,
you don't. But I can't say I've read something
yeah, yeah.
when I haven't, or I haven't been given a reasonable amount of time to do it.
That's a
Uh,
very, very good point. Yes, a good point
I
because
have it on it, but I don't think we can afford. I say to employees, even if you're reading discipline, sickness, and grievance,
yeah.
start. Put it in your objective so it doesn't become
Mm.
another to do for you. So put it as part of your performance objective. So it's not another thing to do.
Yes, yes, yes.
If you are professionally regulated, you best know what that professional code of conduct says alongside policies and processes.
Yes, yes,
You
indeed.
must know, and if you work in a clinical setting, if you work in a finance setting, whatever that regulated thing is, you also need to read those associated policies.
Yes, yes, yes. Yeah.
I,
That's
I yeah, I've I've advised on investigations with regulated professionals.
Yes.
And one of the things that's apparent to me is when they're asked what their code of conduct says, they can't say.
Mm,
They
mm.
blank. And it's not for the employer to enforce that code of conduct, it's their professional body.
Yes, yes,
But at the very least, it doesn't give the employer confidence that
yes,
they're about their practice. So
yes,
it goes right across the board from policy and processes right the way through to codes of practice, because
yeah.
oftentimes we forget about those as well.
Yes, of course, of course. I think it's sound advice actually about the employee giving a caveat when they sign their contract. I think some people would take something from that. Um, I'm just wondering, like when I go on the internet and let's just say I want to, or an app, and let's just say it's Apple or Google, and they say, "Do I accept the terms?" So I have to accept it because I can't negotiate with Apple
Yeah.
or Google.
Yeah.
I just wonder if an employee, well, a prospective employee before they sign the contract, if they feel because it's the employer, it's in this contract, they can't put that caveat in there. They have to accept it, otherwise they're not going to get the job. I mean, I think it's a very good point you've raised, and I've thought about that, but I just sort of
If
wonder if in that position.
the contract comes via email,
Mm,
then you're just going to need to schedule time out
yeah.
to read the contract.
Yes, yes.
So you're gonna have to make time. And the truth is we make time for what we want to make time for.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
The contract is very different. A contract could actually run to several pages, depending on the organization.
Yeah,
So, but a contract is a very different proposition from a 200-page handbook.
I agree. I agree.
So,
Yes.
handbook, you're more likely to put the caveat on there.
Yeah, yes,
Right?
yes, yes.
With the contract, I suggest you want to know what you're actually signing up for,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know, and
yeah.
you take secondary employment or
Yes,
not, what is permitted and what is not permitted before you actually sign up to that contract.
yes, yeah.
Contract employment, slightly different, was very different proposition to a
Yeah.
large book.
Yes, yes. No, I agree. I agree. Okay, well, take us now to Hope Place.
Yeah.
How did that come about? And why Hope? Why Hope?
Oh, so how it came about, how old is my son? So my son is, Lord, I'm having to think how old he is. So he's 30. Yeah.
I'm glad you're doing that. I'm not doing that for my son. No.
Uh, he was excluded from school.
Yeah.
And um, if I saw a light in his eye, and I homeschooled, I decided to homeschool him.
Oh, right. Okay.
Or light in his eyes, I knew hope was present. And if I saw his eyes were becoming very dim, hope was going. I
Oh,
made a very clear decision and I said to myself, well, okay, I've helped Troy because exclusion is about social exclusion. It's exclusion from school is a form of social exclusion. So
yeah.
I thought, okay, I'm going to help other people that are socially excluded within community. And actually, Hope Place was designed to set up for um,
Right.
socially excluded, and that I would give them the training and development they needed without them having to jump through hoops, for example.
Right.
And essentially, it went on from there, and it actually turned into a consulting business. It didn't start off; that wasn't the whole aim.
Oh, I see. Right.
And
Right.
it wasn't until I was working for, I'd done a contract in a large NHS organisation that had real toxic problems, publicly documented. And it wasn't until I went to one of their sessions, long story short, that I thought, you can be employed and socially excluded.
Mm,
I recognize social exclusion goes beyond being jobless or having mental illness, being on the margins of society. You can be employed on a good salary and be socially excluded. You can be marginalized. And
yeah.
it's like an eye opening thing for me. And there's a lot of marginalization happening in the workplace still.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Disciplinaries,
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
um, a lack of diversity at
Mm,
different levels of the organization, which is
yeah.
alien to me because I worked in an organization where our exec director was black and it was diversity at every level of the organisation.
Right,
Hope
right.
Place was set, but I just didn't realise at the time it wasn't the social exclusion, marginalisation that is obvious. It's the
Yeah.
hidden one.
Right. Yes.
It's
Yes. I see.
particularly nefarious.
Yes. Yes. Right. Right. Well, before we come back to your HR work and so on, you mentioned about obviously exclusion and so on. It's rather ironic. You're a school governor as well, aren't you? I just discovered
No,
that this morning.
I was.
You were, wow, wow. Obviously, you would say too much. I know the school's been mentioned on social media. Well, I was doing a little bit of research on you this morning. So it's something we both had in common. I used to be a school governor and a trustee, or various schools actually.
Yeah.
What led you to become a governor then?
Listen, this was not my plan. I mean, I'm a
It
Christian and
wasn't mine either, believe me.
I just heard the Lord say, be a school governor. I said, oh, heck no, not me. Not, no.
Why not you? Why not you?
Listen, bless him, but he was no angel. And I just thought, oh gosh, why me? Actually, I went and done it. And actually, I just thought, I have to go through these um, voting processes, be elected. Do you know? But I didn't. I was
Yeah.
the I was the only one that applied for to be a school governor.
Oh, right. Yeah.
And I'm
Wow.
not saying they wanted to accept me because far from it. Oh gosh, the mum's coming now. But yeah, they had to admit me as a school governor.
Yeah.
And yeah, I believe I gave value.
Yeah.
So HR experience and my governance experience. Yeah, and we served children really well.
Right. Good. Good. So you believe you gave value. Did you enjoy it though?
I did. I did. I've got to say that particular borough really, I mean, it was a 6-week training course.
Wow. Wow.
Invested a lot. And I really enjoyed the governance element of it and knowing that I was going to give back.
Yes.
And also, I think one of the most powerful things was sitting on a school exclusion
Yeah. Yeah.
and just asking a powerful question. I listened to an exclusion and did anyone ask if this was an at-risk child?
Yeah. Yeah.
So being able to ask those pertinent questions, being able to see the child,
Yes.
not really the behaviour, but the child, because we are the adults in the room.
Yes.
And
Yes. Yes.
get that, we are the adults. Yes, they might be working your last nerve, but we are still the adults.
Yes. Absolutely. Good. 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 I just want to just touch on something else as well. You mentioned about diversity. Diversity where you've worked and lack of diversity that you've seen elsewhere. Why do you believe, or I presume you believe, I don't know, you say that diversity, representation is important at various levels, whether it be, management, senior level. Why do you think that's important?
Why wouldn't it be? I just, I believe that there is such a richness that comes with diversity, right? A diversity of perspectives, a diversity of skills.
Yes,
It's well documented a financial advantage that diversity brings. You
yes,
know, I mean, even if you don't care about um, diversity as in seeing the physical representation,
yeah,
even some financial organizations say like diversity hits our bottom line.
yeah,
We have got to make the diversity case is a hard data case for us, but I think it's also a moral one. And it's about having people that are skilled up, no matter if you're black, brown, or white.
yeah,
You're looking for that person with that skills. Okay. And there's always this, maybe it's my view, that perception that it's not in black and brown people, but I can assure you it is. So why wouldn't we have that representation? If
mm,
we are saying we reflect the communities we serve, the customer base that we serve, why doesn't your organization reflect that?
mm, yeah,
And I don't know any different. I just literally, I think it's the norm.
yes,
And
yes,
I remember going to different organisations. So in the NHS, we actually went and we would do peer um, um, examinations of other organisations
Yeah.
under an initiative called Improving Working Lives. And I remember going to an organisation and I thought that they were the strangest organisation because there was no diversity. I was so discombobulated. It was just so against what I was used to.
Yeah.
And
Yes. Yeah.
I'm speaking as a Black woman, but I attended a graduation event. So I teach on a leadership course, and I went to the graduation event last Wednesday. And one of the non-executive, I sat next to a white guy, never met him before, and he was a non-executive. So
Yeah.
we just talking, and when he came up to talk, he said that he worked for BT for years.
Yeah.
And when he came into the NHS, he couldn't, and they had diversity at every level.
Yeah.
And when he went into the NHS, he couldn't understand as a white man, why do we look like we look like? Where are the people of colour?
Mm,
And
right.
long story short, I think he eventually became the chair and he worked along with the chief executive, who was also white, and a couple of my colleagues who also teach on the leadership program who are Black. And
Right.
I mean, it's his story to tell, and I'm just talking about what I heard.
Sure.
They went on a very focused initiative where they brought on board two non-execs, people of colour.
Right.
They thought very strongly that there should be diversity on the board,
Right.
two white men.
Mhm.
So they saw their community is diverse
Yes. Yes.
and
Yes.
that the moral case has been made for it, the
Yeah.
financial case has been made for it.
Mm.
What do we need?
Yeah. Good
Yeah.
for you. Yeah. Yeah. Good question. Good answer as well. Good answer. Now, you are a speaker, trainer, and podcast host.
Yeah.
Tell us about the podcast host first. Where do we find it? Where do we find your good work?
So it's Hope Place HR on YouTube.
Okay.
And I started the channel and I was so terrified, Ryan. I
Mm.
literally couldn't film videos. And then, so I left it maybe a couple of years. And then my sister, who I work with, said, well, if you want to make money, get onto YouTube.
Yeah.
And we were sitting side by side. And I gave her such a side eye, Ryan.
I could imagine.
Think of nothing more terrifying. Why?
Hmm. Yeah.
So anyway, I listened to her and YouTube says it, yeah. I listened to her and I just started popping out videos.
Yeah.
And I got to about 300 followers and
Yeah.
money wasn't anywhere near.
Yeah.
I was just like terrified taping these videos week on week.
Yeah. Yes.
Primary motivation, like, okay, I need to take these videos because I know people need help. So let's do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
remember going to YouTube and them saying you monetize at 1,000 followers. And I think that's all right, then that'll never be me. Money motivation. And actually the channel monetized at 300 followers.
God, God,
I
God.
came on board from the channel, but the channel is really just it's an education and empowerment piece.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it one of the a powerful story was I remember logging on. I was doing a grievance investigation and I had to log on my emails for information to complete the investigation report.
Yeah.
And I was a little bit annoyed because I didn't want to get distracted. And I opened my email and there was an email from someone that timed at 4 o'clock in the morning.
Uh,
And her husband, she was emailing on behalf of her husband, who I think he'd been dismissed by them.
right.
And he was a regulated professional.
Right.
It
Right.
was, the registration was on the line as well.
Right. Right. Yeah.
Man, I remember thinking, 4 o'clock in the morning, wow,
Yeah.
sleep. That was a thought that came across my mind.
Yeah.
The channel is there for people who can't sleep,
Yes.
who
Right.
can get the education and the knowledge, and sometimes just like the comfort,
Yes.
24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Yes.
that's essentially what it's about.
Yeah. Well,
I blog on disciplinary grievances, any HR topic really.
Yeah, yes, yes. Well, I can vouch for it. I've
Yeah,
been on there. I've been on there before. That wasn't part of my research. I had been on there a few times. Very informative, very educational, and I'd welcome it to anyone.
yeah,
It's there, as you say, 24/7, isn't it? Yeah.
seven.
And it's, and so on. And trainer. So who contact, presumably companies, organizations contact you for,
Yeah. So I've organizations contact me to do policy and process awareness training.
right? Okay. Okay.
So I train their employees on their policies and processes. So that's
Right.
training. But we go into things like, well, why should you read the policy and process? What's the drivers for that? So I
Mm,
bring in the lived stories.
right.
What
Right.
happens when you don't read policy and processes?
Right. Yeah.
One client wanted me to bring in fitness to practice processes. So what
Mm.
happens when you end up in a disciplinary processes and you then that morphs into a fitness to practice process as well.
Right. Right. Right.
So I do a lot of that, and I bring in my if you don't know, get to know stuff and my BHRY stuff.
Right.
So
Right. Right. Right.
we do the core around their policies, but then I build out the session to
Right.
add value
I,
uh, and to make sure that people understand that HR doesn't have to be dry. It's a
mm,
necessity, it's essential. So how do we get that knowledge into you?
yes. Yes. Yes.
Um, and then for some clients, I run my Relationship Matter series, which is dealing with toxic behaviours in the workplace.
Right.
Teach on what the behaviours like microaggressions, gaslighting, and collusion look like in the workplace.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
What are the legal consequences for people who don't behave?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
and an education piece of how you can protect. So I've written models of how someone can protect themselves in the workplace.
Wow. 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 And speaker, presumably people there's an event happening and they want someone like your good self to give a speech and they contact you to do that. Okay.
Yeah, so I've spoken at a couple of nursing time events,
Right. Right. Okay. Okay.
a couple of staff when they have their Black History Months.
All right. Okay. Yeah.
That. And as a trainer, you're speaking all the time anyway.
Yes. Yes. That's right. That's right.
My last couple of speaking opportunities were I taught, I wrote a course called Get Job Ready for
Right. Right.
so we build people's confidence who have been damaged within the workplace,
All right.
get to the point where they can think about applying for a job. So there's that building of self-esteem
Right. Right. I see.
job. But if you've got poor self-esteem and workplace trauma, you're bringing all of that with you,
Yes. Yes.
which a
Indeed.
lot of people do.
Yes. Absolutely. Yes. Yeah.
Way, let's get a real vision of what you want your career to be, and
Yeah.
let's build that out as well as dealing with all your fears.
Right. Right. Right.
Yeah. Then I spoke at my book launch.
Well, we're going to come on to that as a last
Yeah.
piece, but I'm reserving that one
Yeah.
for, for the end. For the end. So, do you? How would you, if you can, if it's possible, rather, to describe your mix of um, work and well, your clients? Is it employers, more employers because you're training managers, etc., or employees? Say, for example, I've been dismissed, and or I'm going through some disciplinary, and I need advice. Do I? And I go on LinkedIn. I see your profile. Can I contact you and say, I'm going through this, some advice? I mean, that's the employee's perspective. Is
And
that how it works as well? Or is
I've
it?
moved out from like advising
Mm,
in that sense from investigation reports and stuff like that of that nature. I've kind of like moved away from that.
right. Okay.
So I'm definitely into the education space, so the prevention space with employers and
Right. Yeah.
finding folk solutions
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
that.
Yes. Yes.
Employees contact me. It's more employees that are contacting me. And
Hmm.
for example, I raised a concern, and my employer wants to give me a settlement agreement now. What do I do?
Right. Right. Yes. Yeah.
Or quite typically,
Hmm.
I'm facing a hearing for gross misconduct allegations.
Right.
That's
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
what I do.
Yes.
And so you know what disciplinary process is, right? And
Yeah.
by the time you get to a disciplinary, it's pretty advanced.
Yes.
So typically what I then have to do is, okay, we need to go almost back to the beginning and educate you so that you're prepared for that disciplinary hearing.
Yeah.
I do so I review case papers and prepare them for their hearing, or if they're raising concerns or this is what you may need to go and speak to your employer about.
Right.
The policy doesn't appear to have been followed by then. You need to ask your employer why.
Yeah.
And a crucial one is I always look out for the health and well-being of employees.
Yeah.
And sometimes I see them, Ryan, and they are on the brink. And I'm not a clinician, but I've worked with enough people to know, you need to go and get help. I understand you've got this case. I understand you've got this thing that's like pressing you down.
Yeah.
But we can do all that. But I just need you to go and see your doctor. I need your employer to refer you to occupational health, and please call your employee assistance scheme and book yourself in with a counsellor.
Mm.
Uh, and the other thing that I've noticed is sometimes employees are coming for reassurance,
Right.
reassurance and coaching because they feel like they're going to spin out. I
Yeah.
can't cope, the pressure is so much. So I found that it's as much as advisory as Dawn, I don't feel like I can cope.
Right. Right.
So it's a mixture.
Right. Right. Okay. Okay. Right. Thank you. Now we come on to the final piece. Be HR wise and strive. Right. So as well as a speaker, trainer, and podcast host, you are an author, a
Yeah.
writer. So tell us about that. Tell us how the book come about? Why did you do it? And so on.
BHR Wise, right? Well, all that we've talked about is so BHR Wise and Thrive is the core, is at the core of everything I do, whether it be a YouTube channel, whether it be writing an investigation report, whether it be advising an employee. And I was saying the same thing over and over again to people.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And one day, I'd started the book and I'd left it. And then a couple of years ago, my friend visited,
Mhm.
dropped into my house and said, Dawn, when are you going to write the book? I was stressed at the time. I was going through a lot and I'd just broken my toe. And I just thought, and you come here and ask me this. But, she's a good friend. So, like my sister, she wasn't at least
Mm.
phased. And she put me in touch with somebody and I started writing the book.
Wow.
And
Wow.
the book is literally based on my journey of advising several people in my network that were facing processes, nothing to do with my job or my business. And I helped them through. And I said to my sister, Keisha, like, there are people that don't have a network, like me in their network. We need to get this message out. So
Yeah.
I had a written blog called If You Don't Know, Get to Know, which is probably where we first connected several years ago.
Right. Right. Yes. Yes. Yes.
And
Yes.
that
Indeed.
moved into working with organizations,
Yeah.
the YouTube channel and leadership courses. And now a lot of what I tell my potential clients and tell my clients is incorporated in the book. So the book is an educational piece, but the book is also a prevention piece
Right.
that says, look, if you just get HR wise, and anyone can do it, you can thrive in the workplace, right?
Yes. Yes.
Here are some people that have paid the price.
Mm.
You
Mm.
have to pay the price, right?
Yeah.
Because it should be the norm that you go to work and thrive.
Yes.
It's the norm. I've worked in organizations where it's the norm. You
Mm.
see people thriving. You see people going out to secondments. You
Yeah.
see people cross training. I cross trained in safeguarding,
Right. Yes.
so I say cross trained in multidisciplinary team working. How
Yeah.
did I do that? We had an organisation where staff thrived.
Right. Yeah.
Breed the staff out to do their best work and take up developmental opportunities.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
So it talks a lot about the lived stories
Right.
and
Right.
about these people went through it. You don't need to go through it.
Right. Right.
So know your value before you enter into the workplace.
Yes,
A lot
yes,
of this happens because people don't know who they are.
yeah,
Yeah.
yes, good, true.
Who are you talking to again? Let me reframe this because it's not me. So
Yeah,
we need to reframe how you're talking to me so this relationship can proceed in a respectful manner.
yes, yes,
I
yes,
tell people to know who you are because knowing who you are, you build a boundary around yourself.
yes, yes.
When you don't know who you are, and I've seen many people in public service that don't know who they are, 10, 20, 30 years later, not only have they lost their self-esteem, but they lost
Mm,
their
mm,
economic viability,
yes,
and
yes, yes.
what they can draw down in their pension.
Right, yes, yes.
The chapter is called Know Your Policies and Procedures.
Mm,
Tell the lived story of someone who had to learn, who was
yeah.
a disciplinary and had to learn, and how his employer was literally slapping him around, figuratively speaking.
Oh my goodness
But
me.
I saw some of the emails, and I remember being at work one time, and he forwarded an email from his employer.
Yes.
And I'm sat there, and I read this email, and I went, "Whoa!"
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It was like this email was assaulting from the screen. And I remember working with one of my colleagues, and one of my colleagues came over, and we'd been talking about the case, and she'd been helping me to help him. And so she said, "Do you know what, Dawn? He's got grounds for a grievance."
Yeah, yeah.
I tell the story about how we drafted the grievance and how he went through the grievance terrified, and
Mm,
how it got to the point where I couldn't go in with him.
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
not, but by the time he went to his grievance hearing, he went and he represented himself, Ryan.
Wow, wow.
Proud of him.
Yeah,
And he came out and he was smiling. It was like a weight that was lifted.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
The grievance was about 15 points.
Wow, wow,
And
wow.
then within a week, he forwarded me the letter. Every point of his grievance was upheld.
Wow, fantastic, fantastic. Empowered, empowered.
Empowered.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah, yeah,
he's the one that says, when you hear know your policies and procedures, it
yeah.
comes from him.
Wow, wow, fantastic.
And he said, know your policies and procedures.
Absolutely, absolutely.
To this day, he has implemented everything I've taught
Fantastic.
into his thing. So the book is Be HR Wise and Thrive.
Yes, yes.
Succeed. Yeah.
Yeah. Can I ask you, just as you're multi-talented, what was the writing process like for that?
Oh, Jesus.
That's another subject.
Yeah. Now, Esther, my book coach at the time,
Yeah,
kept me on track. So
right.
if you need accountability, get accountability. So
Mm,
you might need a book coach, for example. If you're pretty disciplined, you might not.
yeah,
But yeah, you've got to plan out your book. You've got to stay true to your writing timetable, even when you don't feel like it, because
mm,
sometimes you're not going to feel like it.
yeah,
Um, but I found it particularly tough because I didn't know writing the book is just writing the book is just writing the book.
yeah,
So much it happens before you write the book, and then
yeah.
so much happens after you write the book. Yeah. So I would say plan out your whole book writing process, get a really good book writing coach
Yeah,
that knows the process from the time that you conceive the idea
yeah,
until you bring the book to market. It
right.
is a whole.
Yeah,
I kind of like thinking in terms of when a company's bringing a new product to line, R&D,
mm,
testing. That's very much what I've learned about a book. But I found it, writing this particular book, I found it particularly difficult. I found it challenging.
yeah,
But yeah, I've even though I found it difficult and challenging personally, I've taken a lot of lessons forward. So I don't write in isolation anymore. For example, I found it difficult writing on my own.
right, right, right.
Uh, so I have a writing partner in
Yeah,
Florida, and
right,
we online 1 hour a day, Monday to Friday.
right, right, right. Oh, very good.
Yeah, that's not to say I don't write on my own. So I might be writing for a couple of hours before I log online with her.
Yeah,
And that when you write in community, it's a lot more supportive.
yes,
So
yes.
that's
Absolutely.
my takeaway. I have a new book coach, and it's been really helpful working with her.
Right.
It's actually a whole publishing company, but
Yeah.
they tell you, they like guide you through it step by step. Don't get me wrong, you still got a lot of work to do yourself, a
Yeah.
lot,
Yes, yes.
but they tell you what's coming up on horizon,
Right, right. Oh, very good.
how to turn your book into a business.
Yes, yes, yeah,
So yeah, it's a challenge, but if you've got a message, I would encourage anyone to pursue it. Find accountability,
yeah.
uh, find yourself a good book coach. I think that's a good two good starting points. Find
Right.
somebody that's got the expertise
Yes,
in
yes.
do so you don't spend hours spinning your wheels.
Right, right. Very,
Yeah.
very good advice. Very good advice. Just lastly on that point, not on this on that point, but generally from what you just said, did you learn anything from writing? Because you've experienced things, you've been there for many years, but now you've got to articulate it for somebody else. And did you find you yourself, and you thought, I'm having to explain this in writing now. Did you learn anything? Did you learn from that?
Simple, 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 simple.
Yeah.
Like you see, I remember being in my kitchen and I can't remember if I've actually finished writing by then, but I think so an 8-year old can understand it.
Yes, yes, absolutely.
And also, I was really conscious that people were very stressed, that a lot of people that will read the book is very stressed.
Yeah.
So get to the point quickly.
Yes,
So
yes,
their mental real estate, you got to go straight to the point.
yes,
You got to give them enough information so it empowers them, but not so much that it overwhelms them. So for me, writing it was balance, 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 and
yeah,
in a very easy to understand way. So
yeah,
I've taken that lesson forward. Like, would an 8-year old understand it?
yes, yeah. Oh, lovely. Well, we're coming to the end now. I should ask you, where do we get your book? Can we find it?
Oh, it's on Amazon.
I'll have to put my copy in, but if I put my copy, my order in rather,
Yeah.
I need to get it signed. I can't just.
Up for a coffee, Ryan.
Right, we'll do that. We'll do that. I'll get my book and I'll get it signed. It's worth a copy. Definitely worth a copy. Well, Don, look, it's been a real pleasure. It's been great. Thank you very much for giving us an insight in what you do and sharing your experience and everything else. Is there anything you want to say to the listeners and the viewers on knowing your policies? I know you said that as a goodbye passing message.
Yeah. I'd say pick up a book. Pick up the book and read it because it will empower and equip you. And as I said to people at my book launch, then teach it to your children.
Mm,
Your children are never too young to know. My granddaughter's 6 years old.
yeah.
Started coaching her at 4 years old.
Wow. Wow.
Intentionally, so one of the questions I'd say to her was, especially if she was just having a difficult time, Maya, we need to have a discussion. And the reason I phrased it that way is that when Maya goes into the workplace, maybe 12, 16 years from now, she'll never be scared.
Yes.
So I want to use this book. This book is not just about a book, but if we use this a book as a mission piece
Yes.
and we give it to our children, we will change the generational stuff where it says things like BME employees are more likely to be this or are more likely to do that.
Yeah.
And they invest in reading policies and processes. It is not a wasted endeavour. And if you do, you will stay in peace and you won't go to pieces.
Oh, wonderful. I can't add anything to that. You said it perfectly. Well done. Thank you very much. And I'm gonna pick you up, take you up on that coffee that we need to
Yeah,
have soon. After knowing you over 7 years, let's have that coffee and my signed copy of the book as well.
yeah.
Real pleasure. Don, thank you very much. Appreciate it. And you take care.
Thank you, Ryan.
Yeah, thank you. Bye bye.